What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to another. Wait up, I got dog hair right here. Shit, man. Have you ever had a fucking dog that you potty train him and then he potty trains you that he's not going to be potty trained? Yeah, that's what I'm going through with my dog. Let's get to the whooping Super Norteno. Whooping. Let's get straight to it, man. Before we do, though, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. And I appreciate the support. Thank you, man. So, are you guys ready for another adventure of Ricky, the Super Norteno? I know I am. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you whooping without a dope beat to step to. Whooping, whooping, whoop, 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 whoop. And that's how my primo is. That motherfucker will remix everything with whopping. You know what I mean? It'd be like, it ain't nothing but a whooping thing, baby. He's just an idiot. Anyways, so 2007 was a crazy year for me. It was the 2006 transition into 2007 was the one, right? That was the year. That was the year I went to Juarez, Mexico on the run. That was the year I picked up my case. I got stretched out 4 years in prison. That was the same year, around the same time they were doing Operation Valley Star. There was a lot of shit going on. Merced was popping. And when I say popping, I mean snap, crackling, and popping, right? Rice Krispie your ass. People were outside there getting Rice Krispie. That's a fact, right? I got the fuck out the way. I went to Mexico thinking, oh, man, I'm going to get away from this crime that I committed, right? Shit. Ran into some unsavory characters over there and almost got crimes committed on me. It was all bad. Anyways, prior to me getting locked up, while I was on the run, my grandmother had passed. I had a lot of family going through some shit, man. But Ricky was doing a violation. He was in Tracy. Now, I don't know if you recall the timeline of Tracy prison, but around that time, there was guerra. There was war going on between the Norteños and the Woods, brother. In particular, there was one group, right? They were called the Wolf Pack. I don't even know if they're no longer in existence or if they're in existence or what's going on with them. But man, they were on a straight up lifeline and their lifeline was getting cut off. What had happened was the Woods and the Northerners got into it and a Wood got killed on the yard right there in Tracy on the big yard. And it was an all-point bulletin on any Norteño walking that linea, right? Anyone in reception, the Woods were on him, and it was going back and forth. Well, Ricky was there during that time. I got there right when the guerra ended. So right when they lifted the lockdown, because one thing about Tracy, they'll lock your ass down for a year, 2 years. They don't give a shit, right? You literally would pull up to Tracy Prison, DVI. For those that haven't been there, there'd be like this big bulletin board. It was a big old thing. It said Northerners, whites, blacks, whatever, locked down forever. Right? You were always on lockdown. But anyways, you say 6 month lockdown, year lockdown, 18-month lockdown, whatever. That's just how it was. I got homeboys that have been to Tracy 10 times and never seen the yard yet. Facts. So anyways, Ricky was there. He was doing a violation and he was actually in the mix going at it and involved. And I didn't really know the whole get down until the other day I was talking to him and he was running me down. You don't remember this? You don't remember that? Whooping, you don't remember? I was like, no, I don't give a fuck, right? How am I supposed to care about when you got beat up? So what had happened was, I guess the Woods continued to get off. Well, there was an incident that went down. Do you guys remember Flacco from a convict's perspective? He told the story. He was actually, believe it or not, running the yard when the shit was popping off with the Wolfpack. He was one of the ones that he alleged that he put the wheelers out there, the filters out there to get off, right, with the Woods. But whatever the case may be, Ricky was there. He says he remembers Flacco. Obviously, Flacco was there, so it's whatever. I don't think Flacco remembers him. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But anyways, there was an incident that took place, and I remember Flacco talking about it, and Ricky just told me the other day that he was involved in it. There was no way for him to know about this incident. Believe me, my primo doesn't watch YouTube like that. He's not into shit like that. He was like, well, let me tell you a fucking story the other day. I remember the Woods got off. The Woods fucked us up, right? And I was like, what? So this is what happened. When the Northerners killed a Wood on that yard, they all went on lockdown. So some of the placas, the cops, they were like setting people up. They were like bringing people out on accident, and the way Tracy was, so you got buildings. They're going sideways, and then you got a long hallways that lead out to the yard or their infirmary or wherever they're taking you, R&R, wherever you got to go, school, class, whatever. And there's, of course, you hit a couple corners, man, depending on which building you're on. They're called wings, right? J wing, H wing. They had fucking East Hall, West Hall. That's just how it was. Anyways, you walk down these hallways and then you got to go around the corner. I always did my time in J wing and H wing. Those were the fucking Those were the active units at the time. You go around the corner, there's the chow hall. So anyways, they put all these Northerners in the chow hall, Ricky being one of them. And they just left. It was like 3 or 4 Northerners in there, man. And they brought all these Woods in there and they left. And the Woods got off. The Northerners were handcuffed. The Woods weren't. So the Woods got busy. Well, Ricky got fatality. He was one of the ones that got fucked up, right? So here's where the story begins. So during this time that Ricky's getting his head bashed in by a good old Wood brother, right? I was on the streets on the run. Now, I had just got back from Juarez, and I was wiggling out there in a town called Turlock, right? I was in Turlock for the first few minutes because I wanted to stay out the way from Merced because all my homies were telling on me. There was a lot of people giving up the ghost. I just didn't trust anyone. I was, what you call it? Paranoid. Orale, manalo, chuta piece of shit, right? I was paranoid. And so I wasn't getting a hold of certain family members. I wasn't doing nothing. Now, at the time, I knew Ricky was locked up because he was locked up prior to me going to Juarez. He was doing like a 6-month violation for being stupid, right? So while he's in there going through it with the Woods, I don't care what's happening in prison. I'm trying to avoid the Noid. I'm trying to not go to prison, right? So I didn't know the lockdown situation. Well, what happened was my grandmother had passed. I've told you guys the story. I was actually, at that time I came back, I was in Turlock. I was in between Turlock, Merced, and Oxnard. I was out there sliding to some chick's house trying to stay in the cuts, right? And so that's when she was from, she lived in the Colonia neighborhood. I went over there. I had to switch out the Raiders jersey for a Cowboys jersey. You know, I had to do a moving. You know, kind of like how Cowboy fans switch their shit out for Chiefs jerseys. You know, bandwagon shit. But anyways, it's neither here nor there. My grandma has a funeral. I slide back, man. Luckily, I didn't go to it because the feds was there to snatch me up. Not the feds, but the task force. They were there to get me, right? Well, Ricky gets out about a month later, and I'm still wiggling around town. I'm making moves. Now I'm getting brave. Now I'm not even trying to hide. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to prison. It is what it is. I made it back from Juarez, and when you make it back from Mexico whole, you just don't care anymore, right? Hey, there's not a lick of time that they could give me in the state of California that compares to a massacre in Mexico. Just not at all, right? So I'm running around making moves. I remember I had a little cell phone hustle. I'm doing my thing. And Ricky gets out. And of course, I slide to my tias. I didn't give a fuck anymore. I wasn't staying away from nothing. Plus, ain't no one telling on my tias except for the roaches. They're the only ones telling on each other. He ate the last fucking chicharron. He ate the last chicharron, right? So I'm not tripping. So I knock on my tia's door. Get the fucking door, you son of a bitch. That's usually how it goes, right? I can hear my tia. I'm like, tia, it's me. Just the fucking door's open. You know it's always open. I gotta let the roaches in and out. They need to piss. All right, so I come in. She treats her roaches like pit bulls, literally. She's potty training them. They're not going nowhere. They're a fixture of the house, right? So I come in, my tia's right there in a thong and fucking a fucked up ass corduroy jacket. Mejo, do you like it? You think the jacket matches? Matches what? They can match anything, right? So I'm like, what's up there? Where's Ricky at? He just got out. He's in his room. I think they're over there doing the Pound Town. That's what they call it, the Pound Town. I said, what's the Pound Town? I don't know. I was watching fucking Magnum PI, and he said, I'm going to Pound Town. I said, no, I think he meant he's going to Crown Town or something. Anyways, so I knock on the door. Ricky's in there. Whoop it! Whoop it! Right? I said, damn, why you out of breath? You in there getting boned? No, it's because me and shit were eating. We're having a thumb wrestling. So I open the door. Literally, they're in there fucking eating big old burgers, right? She's just like, I'm hungry. Yeah, I know. So I'm like, what's up, fool? You got out? He's like, yeah, I got out. You're going in. So he's like, hey, we're on site. And I said, what do you mean we're on site? He said, the homies told me we're even out here. We're on site. Now, let me explain to you about my primo and the J cattiness that he's with, right? He can't decipher freedom and the streets from in prison. Now, in prison, that particular prison, not all prisons, it was on site between the Wolfpack, the Woods, and the Northerners. You know what I'm saying? There was a whole lot of coffee. Brother, get these fucking essays, brother. NAs, right? They were, Superwood might have been there. I don't know. They were going at it with the Northerners. It was going back and forth. Ricky, like I said, he got his whole head bashed in, so he was upset highly, right? But anyways, he starts telling me the story about these fights and how the homies got off and this, and that, and he wanted to stab someone, but he didn't know how to make a knife, and the homie laced him up. This is back in the old days, right? Before Ricky would, now that motherfucker could probably make something that big. So anyways, I'm like, hey, bro, it ain't like that out here on the streets. Like, it's cool. Like, I kick it with Roach is the homie and shit. At this time, while I was on the run, let me give you some background. So, you know, at this time that I was on the run, Roach was locked up. Okay, everybody was locked up but me, but I was heading to get locked up. It's fucked up. They all got out and kicked it, and I'm locked up, right? Crank smoke everywhere. So anyways, I'm telling Ricky, I say, hey, fuck, let's go to Foster Freeze, fool. And I was trying to pick a fight. Fuck it, let's go to 8-Town. Let's go to A-Town and whatever pops off, pops off. Now, any Norteno from Merced County would tell you, man, that's kind of something you don't do. Go to the Atwater Foster Freeze unless you want to get a double dip cone and double dip up out of there, because there's always Southsiders right there, and that's like their spot, or it used to be. I don't know anymore, right? But that was their spot. Like, hey, homie, hey, where you guys at? Oh, we're at the mall, homie. We hold it down. Where you vatos at? We hold it down right here at the car wash. What about you out there? We hold it down at Foster Freeze. So let's get banana splits for everybody. So Northerners knew if you wiggled in, and when Northerners wanted to get off, that's where they'd go, because there was always going to be a Southerner present somehow, some way. So I'm like, fuck it, man. I was gangbanging like a motherfucker. Let's go. So my people was like, well, but I'm ready. I'm always ready. But what if we see white people? I said, what do you mean, what if we see white people? We're guaranteed to see white people. We're in America. I'm going to get off where I'm at because fuck them dudes. They beat me up, right? So this dude, in his mind, he was still on site with Woods. Now, could my primo decipher a Wood between just a regular white man that works at Petco? Probably not. Well, this is what happened. So, of course, my tia, she was like, can I go with you? I want to get a cone. Like, yeah, you can go with me, right? We can drive like this. You know what I mean? She sits in the back. It's like, sometimes I'd have her in the front, but she was fucking my sprockets up. So I'm like, fuck that, right? Sit your ass in the back. So it's going to be me, her, and Rick. We're going to go into Foster Freeze. We're going all the way from Gustine to Atwater to get an ice cream just because I'm trying to pick a fight. I'm not going to lie. The gangbanging was real, right? Ricky was always down for a good fucking melee. So, and of course, I knew Sheila could throw him. So it was what it was. If there was any Southsider chicks, pobrecita, Sheila was going to eat a hamburger, a banana split, a double dip cone, and put hands on you. That's just what she was about to do. Not in that order. The banana split was probably going to be first. So anyways, we're going to write on my desk, give me a fucking cone, and if it melts before you get here, I'm going to melt your chin. I was like, yeah, there's no way I can bring you a cone. It's far. Gustine is far from Atwater. It's like a 30-minute drive. Right? I'm like, there's no way. Yeah. What about if I go right here to the store and I just get you a little paleta you can lick on? I like licking on things, but a paleta is not what I want because I want a double dip. Well, I said, well, come on then. Look, what if there's Southsiders there? My son said the white guys, they don't like us anymore. I said, you want to go or not, Mike? I'm going to fucking go, but I'm not going to change my jacket or my bottoms. You're not wearing bottoms. Put some shorts on, right? So, of course, she throws shorts. So it's kind of like a family outing. We're going to go. I'm going to look for trouble. What an asshole I was taking my tia with me. My tia wants the double dip cone. Ricky's on white man hunt, right? Because they got off on him. And Sheila wants to eat everything on the menu with no money. Hopefully she can knock us outside or pay for her because, you know, the Northerners back then, we wasn't doing it like that. So anyways, we pull up to the spot. Ain't no one there. There's a couple white dudes there. One of them's wearing a tie, looks just like a detective, right? And the other one's just casual. Looked like they just got back from golfing and doing something in the fucking stock market. I'm not paying attention. I walk right up. I figure, fuck it. Ain't no Southside sheriff. They pull up. It is what it is. I had a little thing on me at that time, right? I was fully functioning. And Ricky's like this the whole time. Whooping, I want onion rings, right? So he wants onion rings. She just like, who's going to pay for this? I'm like, yes, I'm going to fucking pay for it. With your money, Puto gave me a double dip cone, the swirl one with vanilla and chocolate. I like that one. And tell him to dip it twice. Tell him to dip it real good. Thump, thump, thump. And I'm like, all right, Miss Push It, Miss Salt and Pepper. That's right. I want it salted and peppered. Right? So I'm ordering everyone's food. I give me the burger with the big old bag of fries. Foster Freeze is the bomb, or it was back then, right? I haven't been there in a minute. And so, of course, I'm like, hey, my dad's like, let's we got to eat it here because my cone is going to melt all over your minivan. So we're sitting there. They have like an overhang and there's like these tables, right? If I recall. And we're sitting there eating. These two white dudes are there. And Ricky's like, Open, I don't like these woods. I was like, those aren't woods, bro. Those are white people. That's what woods are. Don't try to explain to me what woods are. I was like, first of all, Mickey Mouse, stop fucking talking like that, Pluto, before I knock you out, Goofy. Listen, Donald Duck. Those are not woods, bro. Those are white men, brother. Right? And that's it. That's all they are. Nope. Ricky keeps saying, the one in the tie has a blue tie, he's a Southsider. I said, no, he's not. He's a fucking white guy that probably works at fucking, yep, he works at Albertsons. Leave him alone, bro. He has the tag and everything. The other guy just looks like he fucking, he's a big old Tiger Woods fan. Leave him alone. He has a funny hat and everything. And it's backwards. He thinks he's cool. He might whip our ass. So as we're kicking it, a lowrider pulls up. Okay, I see it out the corner of my eye and I get my thing ready. Meanwhile, I got a handful of onion rings and a big old burger in one hand, right? And I put the onion rings down, not the burger, because the way Sheila was looking at it, I would probably have to arm wrestle her for it, and I might lose. So then I reach for my thing. I'm wearing a hoodie like this, I remember. And I got it, and Ricky's like, well, I think that those are Southsiders. Oh, I think we're going to get off, right? It's funny how Ricky starts scooting behind his mom, not in front of her to protect her, but behind her. Like she's going to protect him. She was like, don't get fucking behind me. I'm going to go eat with the white guys over there because you guys are fucking full of shit. Get up where you're mad at, son of a bitches. My tia's already on her second cone, mind you. I like these. I like to eat it from the bottom. It's something I like. It's just like, it's like a weenie. I like to eat the balls first. I'm like, what? Right? She's different. So anyways, we're kicking back and 3 big old white dudes get off this car and a Southerner, right? And right then and there, I knew it was at that point in time, it was going down, right? So they get off. Seems like slow motion. I'm not even tripping off the white dudes, but but back then, there was always a gang of white dudes that were all tatted back and shit that would kick it with Southsiders. More than likely, they were Southerners from like LA. They had moved or whatever to A-Town. But there was like some woods, like from out of town that used to come function with A-Town. It's just what it was, man. They were doing that prison shit on the streets. So when they get off, I see the Southside. He's a youngster. He's probably like 18, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I see him and I'm just looking at him like, and I'm me-mugging the whole time. Like, whatever. I got something pointed at him in his direction. And they see how my expression is on my face. And my dad's like, don't fucking do it. I don't want to get locked up. Chachela sucks. It's about to be summertime and it sucks, mijo. And I'm like, all right, Dad, don't trip. You just sit over there with Tiger Wood. And I'm going to fucking handle my business, right? And Ricky, of course. What are you guys looking at? They weren't even looking at us. They looked, seen my expression, was like, oh, man, we got to leave that Northern alone. Now, we're flamed up more than hell itself, okay? For example, red on red. We're wearing all red, right? Sheila got a red rag in her hair. Like, but she's smashing so much food, they're probably like, man, that pig can't get up. And so as we're posted right here, Ricky's like, whooping. You guys are on me or what? They're like, one big old wood is like, what's up, brother? Like, he's being cool. They weren't even tripping. They were like some country woods. They were with this Southerner, right? Or at least I thought he was a Southerner. He probably, now that I think back on it, he was probably just a J-Cab, but whatever, right? And Ricky's like, whooping, you guys are what, you're on me? And I look at Ricky and he said, it's mandatory on, and he tells me straight up, his voice changed. It went from, what the fuck was that to, it's on site, right? He gets that Barry Manilow, that deep voice, it's on site, right? And I'm like, what? Ricky jumps up and rushes. I rush the Southerner, right? Forget that I have the thing. It falls on the ground. My tia picks it up. Give me that. Oh, shit. That shit tickled when it went down. It was cold, right? She's doing her thing. And Ricky's fucking getting jumped on by 3 white dudes. I'm over here trying to fight the Southsider. I ain't gonna lie. Hit me hard. That little 19-year-old motherfucker hit me very hard, right? Boom. All you seen was fucking pineapple fucking jelly from, you know how when you order the banana splits, they put the pineapple and the strawberry. All you seen was pineapple chunks flying out of my mouth, right? But I got the dude in the headlock, so I'm trying to drag him to the ground. Ricky knocked one wood out the box. Boom. He's done. Whopping, right? These other 2 are on him. Boom, boom, boom. We're getting fucked up. This black dude comes running up. He was with his kids. He was like, man, he's moving his kids out the way. And he gets to kicking on the wood. He's like, fuck that. I'm like, that's right, black and brown, black and brown. But really what you had was brown versus brown versus white, black versus white. And Ricky got kicked a couple times too versus brown. Hey, vanilla and chocolate swirl. We were all fucked up all over the place. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. So we got off. We'll trip out, right? So we make it. My tia's like, get in the fucking car. My tia didn't even care. We're getting jumped on. She's fucking, let me get another cone to go, right? Get in the car, Sheila, your fat ass. No, you can't have no more fries. Stop already. You ate everybody's stuff. First thing you do, bitch, is you always reach on the bottom of the bag for the ones that fell. But I see the way you do it. You think you're slick. You get the bag of fries and you shake them, bitch, so they all fall out. Get your ass in the car, right? So we're jumping in the car. I'm leaking right here. What's up? Them dudes fucking skirt off. They didn't even get a fucking double dip cone. Assholes. They're gone, right? So I tell Ricky, hey, well, fucking what, bro? We're going to shoot them now. We're going to, what the fuck happened? Right? He's like, no, we're on site with the whites. Every white I see. And I'm like, bro, stop it. Well, 2 days later, I stood at my tia's, right? I didn't have no reason to go home. I didn't have an old lady at that time. I was on the run, right? I had an old lady, but because I was on the run, I was moving frequently. So anyways, I'm staying at my tia's for a couple of days. I wake up and Ricky's like, Whoopin, let's go to Roach's house. I'm going to get down with his homeboys. I said, bro, leave that shit alone. This is not Tracy Prison. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that. Well, it worked like that, right? So Roach had just got out. I didn't even know Roach was out. But at this time, Ricky and Roach were closer. Remember, I met Roach through Rick, right? So they're homies. So he tells me we go to Roach. We go over there. Gaggle of white men. They're all happy. Hey, brother, what's up with Nortenos? What's up, Ricky's like, Whoopin, why are people tripping on us? Right? I'm like, hey, Ricky. They're like, what's up, brother? you want to hit this, you want to hit a bowl or what? And Ricky's like, yeah, I do want to hit a bowl, but I ain't gonna hit it after the white man. They're like, come on, brother, that's our thing. We don't smoke after Mexicans, but Mexicans are allowed to smoke after us. I'm like, look, bro, hey, forgive my cousin. He's stuck in Tracy right now, right? And Roach is like, yeah, what's going on in Tracy, brother? Hey, listen, bro, I heard, right? He gets all Hulk Hogan out and he starts talking about what he's hearing. And then Ricky flashed. He said, you guys jumped me. You guys trying to kill me. You guys trying to kill me. And Ricky rushes one white guy. And I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. You want to know what I did? I watched. Because he's a gangster. He handles business. He's a J-Cat, but he can handle business, right? So I just sat back, watched Ricky throw them things, and that was it. So at the end of the day, man, Roach was mad. He kicked us up out of there, right? I guess Ricky got double dipped like a cone, and I didn't back his play. Why? First of all, my mouth hurt from a couple days before. Fucking my tia was walking around buck naked, and it just scared the shit out of me. And I was hungry because she ate every tortilla in the house. So I was not in a good mood that particular day. Ricky could handle his business. Like I said, there was plenty of times I got jumped on. He didn't back me up. So fuck him. Whopping. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. With that being said, hey, Rick, tell the truth, motherfucker. He's watching this shit. I know he will because I'm going to call him and tell him. Tell the truth, fool. Them fools whipped your ass in that chow hall. Got you upset like a motherfucker. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. If you want me to continue these Super Norteños, hit that one. You know what it is. The biz.